Hello and welcome everyone. I welcome you all.
Okay, so shall we begin?
Right, so I think this is your first class of geography.
So, what is reminder theorem?
So the RBI comes with a bulletin.
For example, citizens also and non-citizens also. So it is clear now. So abolition of
What is a society made up of?
Just do this exam, better your life is settled.
Getting my point? So the characteristic, as you can see here, agriculture was there.
And atmosphere is made up of what? Can say it is made up of gaseous.
And the loans will be credited to your account. Wherever you want, you can swipe this card.
Ax plus 1 divided by A. Here 33 by 8. 33 is 32 plus 1.
It went from fact-based to substantive knowledge, which means you can only answer the question if you have understood the topic.
Was it mixed? Was it socialist? Was it communist? Was it capitalist?
Excluding food and excluding energy.
society.
Core inflation does not include.
Look at the pattern or the trend of question papers before. Okay, about 30-35% questions are from history. Okay, 40-45% questions are from geography, and then 10-20% questions. Okay, current affairs based question, 1 or 2 questions they can give sometime. So today our goal will be to what? Understand comprehensively what we have to study in the geography. I think all of you must have studied geography at least till which class? 10th? So what was the view about the subject when you studied? It was a long time ago, but still, how many feel like the subject? And others did not like or forgot whether it was likable or not likable. So basically, the subject geography, if we talk about, it has similar kind of syllabus as we have in class 11th and 12th for the NCERTs. Okay, like CBSE, what we can say syllabus is there. But apart from that, some extra we have to study, and also from NCERT is something we have to skip. Okay, so what we have to study, what we have to skip, this is also something very important before beginning the preparation. So anyway, if we start itself with the subject, the name itself is called as geography. So how can you in simple words define geography? What is geography? Study of earth. Okay, so geo, and then we have graphy. Okay, 2 words are there. Geo means what? Earth. And graphy refers to what? Knowledge, okay, or understanding. Okay, knowledge or understanding. So in simple words, what we can say is geography, it is the understanding of the earth. Okay, it is having comprehensive knowledge, okay, or comprehensive understanding about the earth. Now, geography has developed as a discipline somewhere in the later stages. Okay, initially what you have like you have to study about the universe, cosmology was there, okay, or astronomy was there. Then gradually focus shifted to the geography. So in this regard, if you look at the father of geography, okay, there's a person called as, he was a Greek philosopher by the name of Eratosthenes. Okay, he is considered as the father of geography, and it is believed that he was the first person who coined the term geography, okay, or who used the term geography to classify it as a separate branch of science. Okay, so this is what we can write. Same thing that we have written. Geo means earth, graphia means description or knowledge or understanding, whatever it is. So from Eratosthenes came the word geography. Okay, that is the description of the earth. Okay. Then if we talk about the recent description, okay, for example, if you're writing examination, you cannot simply write that what does geography means. It is very basic definition. What you have to write, slightly more better definition, okay, more comprehensive definition. So that is when we can use the definition given by another noted geographer called as Karl Ritter. So Karl Ritter, how he has described geography, first we can write it, then we'll try to understand, okay, what he meant by the definition. So as per him, what is geography? It is the department of science. See, it is a very interesting thing. If you consider the curriculum that we have today, geography, is it considered a branch of science or arts? In India, where do you study geography? Arts. Okay, but when he defined it as what? Department of science. So that is why many times geography is also referred as semi-scientific kind of subject. It is not a fully science, but it is also not a fully arts discipline. So it is having semi-scientific nature. So it is a branch or department of science as per Karl Ritter that deals with what? Globe. Globe means, by globe, what does he mean? Earth. Okay, so with the globe in all its features, phenomena, and relations as an independent unit, and shows the connection of this unified whole with man and man's creator. Okay, that is the definition. The department of science that deals with the globe in three things: features, phenomena, and relations. Features, phenomena, and relations as an independent unit, and shows the connection of this unified whole with man and man's creator. As an independent unit, and shows the connection of this unified whole with man and man's creator. Right, so we'll try to understand each of these terms, what it means basically. So first thing, as per Karl Ritter, geography, as we have discussed, is department of science, okay, a part of science. Second, it deals with what? Earth. And what part of earth it deals with? So all the features of the earth, that is the first thing. What do we understand by the term features of the earth? Can you give example? What is the landscape? Okay, what are the examples? Mountains are there, right? Plains, plateaus, deserts, okay, all different variations that we see on the earth surface. These are example of what? Features of the earth. So first purpose of the geography is what? To deal with and understand how these features have developed, why these features have developed, right? Where these features have developed, what are the science behind it. Okay, simply we can take example of India, where we have which mountain? Himalayas. Okay, so Himalayas are located in which region of India? Northern region of India. Okay, so automatically question come into mind, why Himalayas are formed in this particular region itself? Why Himalayas does not extend to the south, or why it did not form the western coast? Why did not form in the eastern coast? Right? There must be some region that the loftiest mountain, the highest mountain of the world, okay, has developed in the northern region. So what is the science governing that? What is the mechanism governing that? Plus also it discusses about what will happen in the future. That means geography, in one way we can say, is a study of past, present, and future, okay, with relation to the related to the physical features. If we talk about the features, we try to explain all the three: the past, present, and future of the landscape. Right? Past means what? That is formation of Himalayas. When and how did Himalayas form? Present means what? The current status of the Himalayas. What is the current height? what are the changes that is happening in the Himalayas, right? And future means what will happen in the future. Okay, if suppose you go million of years from now, 10-20 million years after you come back to the Himalayas, will Himalayas remain same or will there be changes? What do you think? Changes will be there. Okay, the height of Himalayas, what do you think will happen after 20 million years? Will it remain same, increase or decrease? Huh? Increase or decrease? Increase. Why it will increase? Tectonic activity. So if Indian plate, we'll discuss that later, but largely Himalayas formed due to what? Collision between the tectonic plates, Indian plate and Eurasian plate. So as long as these plates keep on pushing toward each other, what we can see, the height of Himalayas will keep on increasing. But suppose if plate movement stops after 5 million years, in that case, what will happen? The height will start to decrease because maximum height has been reached. And after that, which forces will act on this more strongly? Forces of erosion. Okay, erosion, all of you understand? Okay, due to the movement of wind, water, glacier, what happens? The rocks, sediments, everything, rocks are eroded basically. And due to this, the height will keep on decreasing. Okay, the best example you can see in India itself. In the Rajasthan, which mountain do we have? Hill. Okay, heard of this hills? Aravallis. So Aravallis in the youngest time, okay, when they were very young mountain, they were even higher than Himalayas. It is believed that Aravallis stand somewhere up to 9,200 meters. Mount Everest, that is the highest point of Himalayas, is how many meters high? 8,848. Okay, 8848. So, and Aravalli was 9,200. So it was even higher than Himalayas. Today, if you look at the Aravalli, the highest point is around 1,300 meters, right? So almost 1/8 or 8 times decrease has happened in the height. Why? Because the plate movement stopped and then the forces of erosion started to come into effect. And later on, suppose 5 million years from now, obviously Aravalli is now not increasing their height. What will happen? Further, they will reduce, okay, in height, and they can reduce to 200, 300 meters, something like that. So this is some kind of changes that keeps on happening because of the two forces that is acting on the earth. More precisely, try to understand. Two forces are, one force that comes from below the earth, like the development of mountain. That is because of what kind of forces? Forces coming from inside the earth. And then you have one forces that is acting above the earth, okay, due to the movement of largely wind, water, and glacier. So in one way, we can say the features or landscape term you have used, the features or landscape of the earth is largely governed by what? Two forces. Okay, endogenic forces, they're called as exogenic force, right? One coming from inside the earth, one coming from above the earth. So continuously, what is happening? Landscape is subject to change, okay, because of the variation in these forces. So how these happen? That is, as per Carl Litter, is the subject matter of which discipline? Geography. Okay, that is the first. Understood? Clear or not? Any question up to here? Then second is what Ritter said, what geography also tried to explain about is phenomena. Okay, so features, second is phenomena. What are the examples of phenomena on the earth? Weather phenomena, that is related to atmosphere. What else? If we talk about the surface itself. See, basically, the phenomena means geological phenomena. If you consider what is happening from below the earth, what kind of phenomena is something that results from below the earth? What kind of natural disaster? Volcanic eruption. Okay, what else? Earthquake is there, volcanic eruption, earthquake. Then what else? Earthquake can trigger in the ocean? What? Tsunamis. Okay, so volcanism, earthquake, tsunami. All these are example of what? Geological phenomena, geophysical phenomena, we can say. Apart from that, what we have? Phenomena that is occurring in the atmosphere. Atmosphere is also part of your earth, right? So atmospheric phenomena means all the weather events, climatic events that you are seeing. That is the atmospheric phenomena. Some phenomena happen in the ocean, okay, hydrosphere region of the earth. That is called as oceanic phenomena. So all the three phenomena, basically we have to understand the mechanism. So if you want to write, you can write this phenomena. Okay, 3 types of phenomena we can describe here. Okay, when he used the word phenomena, he has described 3 different types of phenomena on the earth. First is geological. Second is atmospheric. And third is oceanic. Geological, atmospheric, and oceanic phenomena. And last is what? And relations as an independent unit. Relations between what? Between each of the phenomena that we have discussed, as well as the features that are developing on the Earth's surface. They are related to each other. For example, geological phenomena, you told me. One example is what? Volcanic eruption. So volcanic eruption is example of phenomena. Now, as a result of this phenomena, what kind of features will develop on the Earth? Several features can develop actually. Okay, we'll study that later. But if suppose volcanic eruption is happening this below the ocean, okay, at the ocean bed, what will happen to the magma or lava? You might have heard about the molten rocks that come out. They are referred as lava above the Earth's surface. Once lava comes out above the Earth's surface, lava generally is what? Very hot in molten state, 800 to 1000 degrees Celsius. That is the general temperature. But as soon as it comes above the Earth's surface, gradually what will happen to it? Cooling down. So these are basically molten rocks. So when these molten rocks begin to cool, what will happen? They will start to solidify. So layers of rocks will keep on developing over each other. Due to this, what will happen? In the ocean, the rock layer will keep on rising up, and a time will come when it will rise above the surface of the ocean water. And then we'll call it as which kind of landmass? Island. Okay, so due to the volcanic eruption phenomena, what kind of feature is forming? One example will be island. If same phenomena happens at the continental level, okay, in the continents, what will form? Volcanic mountains can form. So volcanic mountains, volcanic islands. When plateaus can form, Deccan Plateau, okay, that is spread over Maharashtra, Karnataka, Gujarat, and all these regions of India. That is example which kind of plateau? Volcanic plateau. So that is what we have to understand in geography, that how a phenomena is related to the development of a particular features. Okay, that is what it's saying. Relations. Okay, as an independent unit, how both of these phenomena and features are related to each other. Understood this point? And last part is what? After this, and also what geography shows? It shows the connection of this unified whole. Which unified whole? When you combine the phenomena with the feature. Okay, volcanic eruption leading to development of volcanic plateau. This is a combined phenomena. Okay, or combined this unified whole. Now, how this is related to man and man's creator? Because that time God was also something that was included in the discussion. Okay, scientific discussion. So man's creator basically here means God he is talking about. So here we can restrict with man itself. So how this is connected to the man? So one simple example we can take. As I told you, in India, Deccan Plateau. That is example of what? Unified whole. How it is connected to man? Simple we can take. In Deccan Plateau, because of presence of which kind of rock? Volcanic rocks. Now, when volcanic rocks are eroded, which kind of soils form? The answer it is black soil develop. And black soil is known for cultivation of which kind of crop? Cotton. Okay. Other crops like can also grow, but largely cotton and tobacco. These are two predominant crops that are easily supported by black soil. So the agriculture, we can say, the agriculture, sowing of crop, reaping of crop, harvesting crop, all this is related to who? Related to the man. So if suppose black soil was not there, agricultural landscape would have looked very different. Agriculture products from this area would have looked completely different as such. That is how we can explain that how this unified whole is related with the man. Okay, so this example, Deccan Plateau, volcanic rock, black soil, that determines what kind of crop man can grow in this region. Okay, other simple example other phenomena we have discussed is earthquake. Okay, now earthquake, if it is happening very frequently in certain areas, will this area become inhabitable? No. Okay, it will become uninhabitable because people will not be willing to stay in that area, live in that area. So where a man can live on the earth, right? That is also controlled by what? The unified whole. Unified whole of what? Same features and the phenomena. So in other way, what we can say, the man's capacity, okay, or desires are limited by what? Limited by the unified whole of phenomena and feature. Okay, this is very interesting. This important point is there. You can write this statement. The man's desire and capacity, man's desire and capacity is limited by the unified whole. Limited by the unified whole of geographical phenomena and features. Unified whole of geographical phenomena and features. Okay, that is why in the extreme regions of the earth, such as desert regions are there, or you have polar regions are there, Arctic and Antarctic, what we see, the population density is very, very low. Okay, why? Because man cannot survive with such kind of climate. Okay, so that is the limitation that environment has put upon us. So in other way, this is also referred as in modern time. Okay, the theory this is called as environmental determinism. That means who will determine how much of man here means humanity we're talking about. That is the one other thing you will see. This is not only for geography, but if you study any discipline which has developed in, let us say, 16th, 17th, 18th century, somewhere like that time, there when they talk about human, they did not use the term human. What term they're using? Man. This is true for all the disciplines, psychology, sociology, whatever is there. Why? Because that time it was still, today to a large extent, it was patriarchal kind of society was there. So they consider themselves to be at the center of the everything. Okay, so the status of women, role of we know that was not same as we have today. Okay, so that is another debate going on in the academia, that we should replace the term man with human everywhere. Okay, so but still the actual definition is what? Actual definition. So Karl Lutter has used which term? Man. So basically man means humanity. So man and man's creator, that is what. Right, so that is one way of understanding this. Next, the recent definition or the most latest definition that you have to remember is the definition given by Hartshorne. Okay, Ritter's definition is more detailed, in depth. Hartshorne definition is something that you can easily write in the introduction of any answer. Okay, if you have to write. So geography is concerned to provide. It is more of a functional definition. It is called. It also. The Hartshorne definition is an example of functional definition. That is, what is the function of geography? Why we should study geography? That is what he is trying to explain. The concern to provide accurate, orderly, and rational description and interpretation of the variable character of the Earth's surface. The variable character of the Earth's surface. Okay, so three things are there that you have to keep in mind: accurate, orderly, and rational. This is the purpose of geography as per Hart. Accurate means understandable. Okay, need to be as precise as possible. Okay, there should not be a lot of scope for what I can say theorizing, okay, or speculating. So that is accurate. Orderly means what? It should be all the information should be arranged in the proper order. Okay, so that you can make a sense of the things. Example we have discussed. Okay, just now volcanic eruption. Why it is happening? Because of the magma that is coming from below the Earth's surface. As the magma and lava rises above the Earth's surface, it creates volcanic landforms. Then this landforms are eroded. It creates a black soil. Due to the formation of black soil, you have a certain kind of crops that you can grow. So this is what right from beginning to the end. Okay, a proper orderly fashion in which you can describe something. Right. So orderly. And third is which kind of description? Rational. Rational means it should be practical in nature. Okay, it should be something that can be acceptable by all. Okay, that is a rational description. So that is the overall function of geography as well. This is how we can understand what does geography basically mean. In simple terms, definition given by Eratosthenes, description or study about the earth. Then we have a more in-depth definition given by Karl Ritter, and then we have the functional definition given by Hartshorne, right? So by now I think all of you understand what does the term or the subject geography refers to, what does it mean. Now coming to the syllabus, if we talk about this is more detailed. If we talk about the syllabus, the syllabus of UPSC we can divide into 4 different divisions. First is what we can refer as physical geography. Second is Indian geography. Third is economic geography. And fourth, human geography. That is how we can divide the entire syllabus of UPSC. Physical, Indian, economic, and human. This is also the order of importance based on the pattern of question, trend of question that has been asked. For example, which is the most important part or subject where you have to focus most? That is physical geography. Second important is the Indian geography. Then third important is the economic geography. And least important is which one? Human geography. Why least important? Because if you look at last 7 to 8 years of question paper, only 2 questions are there which we can say is directly asked from the human geography. Okay, so you can understand 2 questions is very less. If you compare with physical geography, total 36 questions are there that has been asked in last 5 years itself. Okay, so in 5 years 36 questions, here in 7-8 years 2 questions. That is why we are saying that is less important. But that should be also your strategy of preparation. Obviously your job here is what? To earn as much mark as possible. Okay, get as much mark as possible. So focus on these 3 most based on question. Now if we talk about the physical geography itself, this can be further subdivided into 3 major chapters. Physical geography. So first is, see, if you talk about Earth, Earth is made up of 3 different kind of features. One is the land feature. Okay, the land. What is the land part of Earth called? Referred as lithosphere. So the study of the lithosphere, study of the land part of the Earth, the solid part more precisely, solid surface part of the Earth, is referred as geomorphology. Geomorphology. Geomorphology, in simple word, it relates to the description or study of lithospheric region, the solid land part of the earth. And here, geomorphology, if we try to understand it again, made up of three different roots. Geo, we already know geo is what? Earth. Morpho. Morpho means forms. Okay, the different various forms that we see on the earth. And logy come from word logos. Logos is again study, study of. In simple words, what we can say? Geomorphology is study of various forms of the earth. Okay, various forms. Study of various forms of the earth. And more precisely, geomorphology try to answer 4 questions related to whatever forms we see on the earth surface. That question is what, how, when, and where. Okay, that is the overall goal of geomorphology, to answer 4 questions related to the landforms. What, how, when, and where. We try to understand this from example. Let us suppose one kind of landforms on the earth surface we have discussed is what? Let us say volcanic island. So what is geomorphology try to explain? First of all, what are volcanic islands? Okay, whether they are islands, which kind of rocks they are made up of. Okay, what is their overall structure? What is the strength of the rock? What is the stability of the rocks? All these kind of things. How means what? How they have developed. Okay, how they have formed. When means obviously talking about the age. Okay, earth history also is divided into different periods. Periods are there, eons are there, ages are there, all these things. So in what period, what eon, what age a particular landscape has developed. Okay, like in Himalayas we talk about, we know that Himalayas have formed in last 30 million years. Okay, before 30 if you go beyond 30 million years, Himalaya did not exist, right? Similarly, we talk about the peninsular plateau. Okay, like for example, let us say where we are standing today or sitting in that your case. So that is one of the oldest region of what? Earth. Okay, if you talk about, you have been living in Bangalore for quite some time, I guess, all of you, right? So you have heard about this place is there, Lal Bagh Botanical Garden, all of you, right? So in Lal Bagh Botanical, how many of you have been there? You have been to Lal Bagh Botanical Garden, right? So when you go enter, okay, after that when you enter, you have a large rock slab is there. That is kind of like having this kind of elevation, and then on that you have this temple also, small temple is there. So that rock, have a look at the age of that rock. They have mentioned this on a slab of rock that is put in, that has been put there. What was the age? Just looked and forget. That rock slab itself is roughly 4 billion years. Okay, that means 4,000 million years old. Earth formed about 4,500 million years ago. So when Earth initially formed, it was in which state? It was in molten stage. That means solid slab of rock has not formed it. It took almost 100, 200, 300 million years for the Earth to cool down, and then the solid surface or the solid crust of the Earth began to develop. So in the initial time, when such solid crust has begun to develop, one of the crusts that develop is which one? Where you are standing today or sitting today, right? So the Bangalore region, entire southern peninsula, we can say, peninsular plateau is the oldest landmass of the earth. One of the oldest one actually we find in Canada, Canadian states. They are 4.3 billion years old regions. That is the oldest. And then you have other regions. So when part is answered on the basis of the age or the time of formation of all the different. Okay, you have plains in India, for example. If you come out from Himalayas and then go further to the south, what do we have? Gangetic Plains, for example. These are the youngest feature of India. They have formed in last 1 to 2 million years, right? So in India, we talk about which is the oldest region? Peninsular Plateau. After that, which region formed? Himalayas formed. After that, which region formed? It was the plains of North India that has developed. So that is also what is the subject matter of geomorphology. So what are these features? How they have formed? When they have formed? And last is obviously in geography what we study. Also the location is very important. Mapping is a very important part of geography. So where means you have to know about the major features and their location. This year itself, if you look at the prelims question, many such questions were asked, where on one side of the column, features are given, like name of 3 mountains are given. And other side, what you have to tell, which of the continents to the countries these mountains are situated. Okay. Now also they have added third column this year. What kind of mountains they are. Okay. That means this will be covered in what part. So even if you look at not only syllabus, if you look at the question papers also, you pick up the question paper, prelims question paper from before, they are focusing upon what? These 4 aspects. What, how, when, and where. If you remember about these related to all the relevant features, you're able to easily answer the question that is being asked in the prelims examination. Clear? So that is the geomorphology first thing about the various forms on the earth. Now we can try to write what are the topics we will be discussing in the class in the geomorphology. Okay, chapter names we can write. Chapters in geomorphology. So first we have to discuss is the, since we are concerned about the earth here, we have to know about the structure of earth. That is the first topic. More precisely, you can write internal structure. Internal structure of earth. Okay, because earth is not hollow from below. Earth has what? Solid landmass is there, right? Inside also. Okay, so basically, what is the radius of the earth? Do you remember? Suppose this is our earth. First part is, what is the shape of earth? Yeah. Sphere. Earth is spherical shape. Earth is a perfect sphere? No. Okay, earth shape itself is unique shape. So it is referred as what shape? Geoid. Okay, that means geoid means near the equator it is kind of bulging out, and near the poles it is kind of compressed. Okay, so that is how we can. So what is the distance from the center to the surface? Roughly 6,400 kilometers. Okay, so what are the different layers right from the center all the way up to surface? What is their characteristic? What is their properties? How they have formed, developed, and all these things? That is what we have to study in the first part. That is internal structure of the earth. Second chapter we will be discussing is theories. Total 4 theories we have to study here, which is the most important part of the geomorphology. Okay, actually these 4 theories are there, are the one which explain these 4 things that we have discussed: what, where, how, and when. So 4 theories that we have to study is continental drift theory, we have convection current theory, we have plate tectonics theory, and then we have sea floor spreading theory. Sea floor spreading theory. These are the 4 essential theories, main theories of geomorphology. And then we have discussed about the upper surface. Upper surface is basically made up of what? Rocks are there. So rocks, different types of rocks. What are different types of rocks? The rocks, the types, and the cycle. Three things. Rocks, their types, and their cycle. And last is the geophysical phenomena. Geophysical phenomena. Three major phenomena we have to focus here. That is volcanism, earthquake, and tsunami. Three major geophysical phenomena that we witness on the earth. That is volcanism, earthquake, and tsunami. Out of these three, which phenomena is India prone to? Which of these phenomena happens more frequent in India? Earthquake. Okay, that is happening more frequently. We do not have any active volcano in India, at least on the mainland India. Only one active volcano you have, that is in Andaman and Nicobar Island. So volcanism is very rare. And then what do we have? Tsunami. Tsunami is also rare. Last time when tsunami struck India's coast, causing massive damage, 2004, 26 December 2004. So tsunami is also very rare. So largely it is the earthquake. And earthquake also in which region of India? Which region of India is more prone to earthquake? Northern region, northeast region, northwest region. That means entire region along the Himalayan mountain complex. That plus a part of Gujarat, the Bhuj region is there. That is also very highly prone to earthquake. That is the first part. That is geomorphology. Second, what do we have? Second part of geography or physical geography, right? What is the other part of Earth is what we refer as atmosphere. So after study of lithosphere, we also have to do the study of atmosphere. And the study of atmosphere is done in a branch that is referred as climatology. That is the second part of physical geography, climatology. Climatology is basically, again, in simple terms, study of climate. What is climate? Two terms are generally used when you talk about the atmosphere and atmospheric changes. Weather and climate. What is the difference? Weather is for a short period of time. What for short period of time? Changes in what? Atmosphere. Okay, so try to explain it more comprehensively. Otherwise, you say weather is short period of time. Does not make any sense. Okay, so this is how, otherwise you would not think about this, you'll not be able to write about it like this. So from very beginning, you had to focus on that whatever you're saying, be fully conscious. Okay, that whether you are whatever you're saying is making perfect sense or not. So weather is what? Short-term changes that we see in atmosphere of the earth. Climate is what? That is long-term. Okay, long-term changes that we see. So, for example, climate is what? Climate is something that also in geography is called as what you expect, and weather is what you get. Because you go to some tropical countries, you are expecting what? Sunshine. Okay, you want to chill on beaches. But what is happening there? Heavy rainfall has happened. That is what? Rainy day is example of weather. Okay, and overall tropical sunny climate, we can say, or tropical sunny kind of characteristic is example of climate. Okay, so in climatology, what we study? Both the weather phenomena as well as the changes happening in the climate. So climate change. So that is how I can explain the weather phenomena and climate change. So since all these phenomena are happening in the atmosphere, the first chapter of climatology focuses upon three things: the structure, the composition, and evolution of atmosphere. Structure, composition, and evolution of atmosphere. Because currently our atmosphere, whatever atmosphere we are part of or we are living in, which is the most which is the gas in highest concentration present time? Nitrogen gas. Then second, oxygen. Okay, then third, CO2. Which is the third dominant gas? What is it? Hydrogen. Where will have hydrogen? Everywhere blast will happen if there is so much hydrogen. So we have nitrogen, oxygen. Third most dominant gas is argon. Okay, that is inert gas. Okay, argon. And then we have CO2, and then all other gases are there. So that is the example of composition. But what I wanted to say that this has not always been the case. For example, whatever the gaseous composition we have in our atmosphere, if you go back 200, 300 million years ago, composition was very different. If you go back at the time of the origin of Earth, it has very, very different composition. Okay, so that is why what we have to study? Evolution. Atmosphere is subject to change. The atmospheric composition is subject to change, and that change or transformation that happens is referred as evolution of atmosphere. So we have composition, evolution, and also what? Atmosphere is not a single layer. What happens? You have multiple different layers are there as you go. So that is we'll study in structure. Once we understand the overall atmosphere, then we can focus on what? The phenomena that is happening in the atmosphere, the disturbances that is happening in the atmosphere. So second chapter is related to two things. First important changes that happens is due to insolation and temperature. Insolation and temperature. Third is atmospheric winds, because all are related actually. When you study, you will understand that this is related to this, this is related to this. Because temperature, when it becomes high, what happens? The wind start to move in the upward direction because they'll get heated. As it gets heated, air gets heated. As air gets heated, it becomes lighter. As it becomes light, what will happen? It will get uplifted. Okay. As the air gets uplifted, that means at the surface there earlier a lot of air was present. Now air is moving away from the surface. That means what will happen to pressure at the surface? Decrease or increase? If air moves away from the surface, pressure will increase or decrease? Decrease. Okay, so atmospheric winds, why they flow? Because of the pressure difference. Some place we have high pressure, some place we have low pressure. So wind move from which pressure to which pressure? High pressure to low pressure. Why this high pressure, low pressure develops? Because of difference in what? Temperature. Okay, why temperature differs? Because of insolation. Insolation is short form of incoming solar radiation. Okay, because whatever heating we have on the Earth's surface, that is only from the sun itself. So incoming solar radiation. That is I told you that everything is related. Insolation to temperature. Temperature creates atmospheric winds. And other we'll discuss is the pressure belts of the Earth. Atmospheric winds and pressure belts. Then fourth, what do we have? After wind and pressure belt, next we have to discuss about is the weather phenomena. The major weather phenomena that we witness on the Earth. So here we have to study few important weather phenomena that we are observing every now and then. First is cyclones. Okay, cyclones or hurricanes as they're called in some region. Cyclones or hurricanes, the science and mechanism behind these to study. Second is thunderstorms we have to study about. Thunderstorm. Cyclones, hurricanes, the mechanism of thunderstorm, other very violent phenomena. One of the most destructive phenomena is tornado. Okay, fortunately, the tornado is something that does not occur in India. It's very, very, very rare. Which country is largely affected by tornado-like phenomena? USA. Okay, 90% of tornadoes that happens in a year, it strikes the central western part of US. Okay, that is the most affected. Nonetheless, the mechanism we have discussed. And then we have anticyclone. So these are the four major weather phenomena: cyclones, thunderstorm, tornado, and anticyclones. The fifth one, and last chapter in that we have to study about is the concept of humidity. What is humidity? What does it refer to? Moisture. What is moisture? Presence of moisture, that is water vapor content in the air. Okay, so humidity. And it is humidity that is related to the other phenomena that we observe, which is rainfall. So how humidity and rainfall are related, or why, how rainfall happens, mechanism, mode, a lot of things are there. Rainfall seems very simple phenomena, but there is a very intense science behind it. Okay, mechanism, modes differ. Rainfall that happens, let us say, we take example of Russia. Okay, so rainfall that happens in Russia, that is very, very north, is very different from rainfall that we observe in India, which is slightly different from the rainfall that we observe in Africa. Right? So everywhere, depending on the regions, what is happening, rainfall is not same. For example, in polar areas, does rainfall happens? Snowfall will happen. Okay, because liquid form of water cannot survive. Temperature is very, very low. So rainfall, sometimes snowfall. Even in rainfall, what is happening? Many times you might have observed yourself also. Sometime when the raindrops start to fall, if you're walking, okay, you not even feel it. It is very, very small water droplet, microscopic water droplets are falling. And sometimes what happens, suddenly you have very large size water droplets forming, okay, that even hit you and you feel a pain also, slight pain, right? That is because of what? Difference in the sizes. Why the size of raindrops differ? Okay, why sometimes we have a small water droplet, why sometimes we have bigger water droplet? Okay, why sometimes you have like very slow rainfall? Okay, something that you're walking in, it will not get very wet. And sometimes we have so intense rainfall that even few seconds what happen, you will fully drenched. So there must be some difference in mechanism behind that. That is what we'll try to understand. So humidity and the concept of rainfall. Rainfall is again not more appropriate term. Precipitation is what we should use. Precipitation covers all types of rainfall, whether it is in the form of solid, whether it is in the form of liquid, whether it is a small droplet, whether it is large droplet. So rainfall is just one example of precipitation. When the precipitation happens in liquid form, that is when you call as rainfall. So humidity and precipitation, to be more precise. So these are the 5 major topics or chapters we have to study in the study of the atmosphere and the weather climate changes. So that is the second region of the earth which we have studied, the atmosphere. We have studied the lithosphere, that is the land part, atmosphere, that is the gaseous part. How will you describe atmosphere? If someone asks you, suppose some alien come and you use the term atmosphere, then they will ask, what is atmosphere? So how will you define it? What is an atmosphere? All of you are interacting with atmosphere on daily basis. Okay, so you cannot define it. These are things that you have to learn, because if suppose in mains examination question is asked, there is not that everywhere definition is given that you have to learn it and then you will go and remember it and write it. Many times definition is something that you have to think of yourself. Okay, you have to, many times that term that is asked, nowhere you might have heard about definition of that term. Okay, but still you have to define it. So how you can simply define atmosphere? Atmosphere, first of all, it is made up of which kind of composition it has? Gaseous composition. And where it is situated, where it is located? Surrounding the entire earth. Okay, so what we can say? It is a gaseous envelope that surrounds the entire earth. Simple. Okay, so that is atmosphere. Gaseous envelope surrounding the entire earth. So the study of atmosphere is part of climatology. Third, what do we have? What is the other region of the earth apart from gas and solid? Water. Okay, so what is the region of water called? Hydrosphere. So study of the water region of the earth. The study of hydrosphere. The branch of geography that deals with the study of hydrosphere is referred as oceanography. Oceanography. Because 90, we can say, first of all, area of the earth. How much area of earth is covered by ocean water? 70%. Okay, and if we talk about the water only that is present in the earth, most of the 97% of the ocean, of the water on the earth is situated where? In the ocean. So that is why when you talk about the water region of the earth, study of oceanography covers 97% of the water. Remaining is on the land. But even in land, those water are not in the liquid stage. Out of the 3% of water that you have on the land, majority of those are locked in the form of solid ice sheets, glaciers, where in the Arctic and Antarctic region, right? And then only a small fraction of those water you find in the form of liquid in the groundwater reservoir or as the surface water. Surface water means lakes, rivers, and all this kind. Okay. So oceanography largely covers the hydro region, the water region. So oceanography, if you look at the chapters here, first we also have to understand here is the structure and division of the ocean. Structure and division of the ocean. Out of all the 3 disciplines, that is oceanography, climatology, and geomorphology, oceanography is the one that has developed in last stage. most of the oceanography studies were conducted during and after World War II. Okay, so 1940s, basically you can say 1940s to 1960. These are the 20 most revolutionary years when oceanography began as a separate discipline in Europe. Before that, study of oceans was not something considered as a priority. Right, so World War II. Why World War II evoked the interest in the oceanography or a study of ocean? Because naval warfare became a major form of warfare in World War II. So you cannot venture into the ocean, you cannot use the oceans, you would not study the mechanism or understand the ocean water, ocean current, and all this kind of things. That is why. Okay, so that most of the research that happened in the area of oceanography was funded by who? Funded by the militaries of different countries. Okay, US military, US Department of Defense is there. Okay, German Department of Defense is there. So they were the one that funded it. So structure and division of ocean, that was the time when also we classified it, because earlier geographer used to think that we have water in the ocean. So if you go below the water, water is resting on some solid surface. They used to think that this solid surface must be like featureless, plain area. There is nothing to study there. Okay, nothing significant is happening there. But when they actually went at the deeper level and began to study the ocean, then they realized that the diversity of the ocean is same as the diversity that we have on the continental land masses. And once that was understood, and more people became interested to study. Okay, so structure and division of the ocean. First. Second, in oceanography, we have to study about is the ocean properties. Or characteristics, we can write. Ocean properties or characteristics. Now, in the ocean properties or characteristic, total 3 properties are there that is of significance to us, which we have to study. One is the temperature related properties. Temperature. Other is salinity. Temperature, salinity, and third is related to that itself. Density is there. So, temperature, salinity, and density of the ocean. These are the 3 significant properties to be studied. Third is ocean is made up of water. So, does this water remain stagnant or keep moving? What do you think in water? Ocean water. Is it moving or is stationary? Moving. Okay, so where is it moving? Where does it move? Huh? What? Tides. Tide is example of what? Movement. Okay, so tides, that is very good answer. Why do tides occur? Gravitational force of only moon. What else is exerting gravitational force on the earth? Sun. Okay, so gravitational force or gravitational effect of both sun and moon is there. As a combined result of this effect, what happens? The movement in the water happens. That is, water level rises, then falls down. As the water level rises, water will seem to be moving toward coastal areas. As water level falls, it will seem to moving away from the coastal areas. So that is one example of the ocean water. So movement of ocean water, that is the third chapter. Movement of ocean water. Now this movement happens in 2 ways, which we have to understand here. One, as discussed about, oceanic tides, and other is referred as ocean current. Ocean tides and ocean current. Fourth is movement of ocean water, ocean tides, ocean current, and the fourth and the last part in the oceanography that we have studied about is, again, this is area which is very what we can say, relevant from the current affairs perspective also. Most of question that has been asked is related to the recent research, recent news related to coral reefs. So coral reefs, this is the most important topic that we have to study in the oceanography, relevant from the current affairs. So keep an eye out whenever you are reading current affair modules or newspapers or whatever. Any news, relevant news that is coming about coral reefs, you have to write about it. Coral reef, all of you have heard about this term. What is coral reef? How will you define it? Coral reefs, they are living or non-living? Huh? Living. Okay, so live corals. Corals are basically very small, microscopic marine organisms are there. They live in large colonies. When they live in large colonies, collectively they are referred as what? Reefs. Okay, because they also support large number of other animals, fishes, and plants and everything like that. So coral reefs are most important part of the marine ecosystem because they have very big high biodiversity. Okay, that is why they are also referred as rainforest of the ocean, because on the continent, which area you have highest or maximum biodiversity? Equatorial rainforest, Amazon rainforest. Okay, that is, you have one of the highest biodiverse region, rich biodiverse region of the earth. Apart from that, what else you have? Congo in the Africa. So coral reefs are very important because if damage happens to the coral reef, what will happen? Entire marine ecosystem or biodiversity will be endangered, and that will endanger the coastal communities, that will endanger the life of the people in house. So very important. These are the 4 chapters largely we have to study in the oceanography: structure and division of ocean, ocean properties and characteristics, movement of the ocean water, and the coral reefs as such. So that concludes the first part of our syllabus. Till now, what we are discussing? Which part? Physical geography part. So understood? Climatology, geomorphology, and oceanography. Now, this is the only region, or we can say largely the this topics which are conceptual in nature. Okay, there are a lot of concepts are there, a lot of theories are there, a lot of scientific definitions and all these things are there. So here for these 3, what you have to focus, rather than remembering and rote learning, you have to focus on what? Understanding the concepts well. Once you understood the concept well, obviously you can write by yourself also. Okay, what are your answers and all this. After this, the second important topic we have is, obviously, since we are part of India, living in India, so geography of India. Geography of India. Here also several chapters we can enumerate here. The first and the most important, also the biggest chapter content wise. The physiographic region of India, that is what we have to study. The physiographic region of India. Physiographic region means the entire India. We can divide into different features. Different landscapes are there. So what are the major landscapes? The study of that, okay, is what is considered as physiographical region. So overall, entire India can be divided into 5 physiographical regions, starting from north to south. Okay, which is the northern part? What kind of landscape we have in northeastern part? Himalayas. Okay, so they are example of what? Mountains. Okay, so that is the first one. Himalayan mountains. As you come out from the Himalayan mountains, what kind of region you have here? Northern plains, right? You have the alluvial plain, the largest alluvial plain in the world, covering almost 25% of entire India, areas of India. That is your northern plain. So that is second physiographical region we will study, northern plains. What is the significance of northern plain for us? What is the main contribution this northern plain make in the economy? What kind of contribution? Agriculture. Okay, it is very intense or dense agricultural region of India. 70% of the crops that are produced in India are coming from which region? Northern plains. Okay. And then second most important region we'll discuss, that is coastal area. Also you have a small plain, sir. So anyway, northern plain. Then the largest region of India, largest geographical region of India is kind of triangular shape block is there. This is what the covers almost 50%. Area wise, you talk about 50% of India's area is made up of peninsular plateau. That is the third geographical region. And then on the both side of peninsular plateau, what do we have? The fourth geographical region, referred as the coastal plain of India. And what is left? Islands. Okay, so on both sides, which sea is there on this side, western side? Arabian Sea. So somewhere near the coast of Kerala, around 200 kilometers from the coast of Kerala. Here you have the group of islands. What are these islands called? Lakshadweep. And similarly, which sea is here? Bay of Bengal. What is the name of island? Andaman and Nicobar Island. So overall, we can say India has 2 island groups, Lakshadweep Island Group and Andaman and Nicobar Island groups. These collectively are referred as island group of India. This is how we can divide the 5 geographical regions of India. Western Ghats is part of which of the geographical region? Peninsular plateau itself. Okay, so Western Ghats, Eastern Ghats, both of the Western Eastern Ghats are part of Peninsular plateau. So detailed description of all these we have to understand here. Now one thing also you should keep in mind, that as soon as you start studying the geography of India, here more of your focus should be on what? Map, or map. Basically the source of map is what? Atlas. Okay, so whatever we study in the class, whatever areas, regions we'll talk about in class, as a homework, automatically what should be your job? Go and try to locate all of these regions on the atlas. Try to find them, point it out. Okay, all of you have atlas. You don't have them, buy it as soon as possible. So Most of the question that is being asked from the Indian geography. Now see, UPSC has very interesting this what I can say trend. In mains examination, most of questions from geography are asked from which area? That we have discussed, physical geography. That is geomorphology, climatology, and oceanography. Because that is where concepts are involved. Okay, you have to explain something, you have to describe something. As far as the prelims examination is concerned, more of question is coming from where? From Indian geography. And most of the questions are of which nature? Map based question. Okay, where, for example, they can give you name of 3 different plateau. Okay, and they will ask you, this is in central part, this is in east part, this is in north part, true or false. Okay, also Himalayas, lot of peaks are there. So they can give you the name of 4 peaks and they can ask you to arrange them sequentially. What is the correct order if you move from west to east? Okay, similarly for Western Ghat, question has been asked 2 years back itself. 4 peaks were given and you have to arrange them sequentially. What is the correct order if you move from south to north? So that is why knowing the location is more important here. That is why map and atlas work will become a very important part of your preparation. So physiographical region of India, that is the first part. Second chapter, from which the maximum number of questions have been asked. If you take a look at last 15 years question paper in prelims, last 15 years of prelims, the highest number of questions that has been asked is from the river system of India. So in Indian geography, we can also say that river system is the most important chapter from exam point of view. River system of India. River system and river, what is the difference? River of India and river system of India. Let us say 2 words we are using. What is the difference? River and river and tributary. What are they called? River system. Okay, when you talk about river, that means single river we are talking about. So in India, river system is of 2 types based on from where they are originating. So most of the rivers which are perennial in nature, perennial means they continuously have a flow of water throughout the year. They are originating from where? Himalaya. So they are called as kind of river system? Himalayan river system. Other rivers are originating from where? Peninsular plateau, Western Ghats, Eastern Ghats. They are called as which kind of river system? Peninsular river system. That means India's river system we can classify as a Himalayan river system and peninsular river system. Within that, then further divisions are there. Which is the largest river system of India? Ganga. Okay, that is the largest river system. Which is the longest river of India? Godavari. Brahmaputra is longest or largest? Longest river system is, see, river system, largest river system is Ganga river system. Largest river is Brahmaputra river. Longest river is Ganga river. Okay, that is how we have to understand. River or river system, what we are talking about. Based on that, your answer will change. So largest river of India is Brahmaputra. How do we define river as largest? Based on the volume of water, okay, that is flowing through that. So if you compare the volume water in Ganga and volume water in Brahmaputra, Brahmaputra has more volume of water. Ganga has less volume water. But if you look at the length right from the beginning origin to the, what you can call as, where the river originate, what is the term used for it? It is called as head of the river. And then the river enters into the ocean or sea. It is called as mouth of the river. So length is between where to where? Head to mouth. So in that case, which is the longest river? Ganga river, right? Now, if someone asks you that, forget about India. If question is framed like this, Ganga river, Brahmaputra river, which is the longest river? Then what is the correct answer? Brahmaputra. Because in India, longest is Ganga, but most of Brahmaputra is flowing where? In Tibet and Bangladesh. So if you compare individually, the entire length of Ganga and entire length of Brahmaputra, which becomes longer? Brahmaputra becomes long. So you have to be very, very careful that what exactly the question is being asked. Whether they're asking the absolute length, whether they're asking about the length in India, whether they're asking about the volume of water or what. Right? So that is about this. In Himalayan river, which is the longest river? Then answer will become different. That will be Indus River. Okay. If a question is given like this, that from the Himalayan mountain ranges, the longest river which emerges out, Indus, Ganga, Brahmaputra, then it will be Indus. Longest river that emerges out flowing within Indian territory, that will be Ganga. So that is what I'm saying. In peninsular India, which is the longest river? Godavari. Okay, so that is why Godavari is also called as what? Southern Ganga. Okay, because of its cultural, religious, and agricultural significance. So very, very important, most important actually part of Indian geography, river system of India. After that, we have to study is the climate of India. Climate of India. India's climate is categorized as tropical monsoon climate. So in one way, you have to study in detail about the tropical monsoon climate. Okay, weather or climate, whenever we are using this term, what basically we are trying to measure? What are the this parameters that we are measuring, either for weather or for climate? Temperature, okay, that is one parameter. What else? Humidity or rainfall, we can say. So lot of factors, however, are there. Like for example, you can say pressure, density, atmospheric, and all this. But all these are very irrelevant factors, not very important. Most important parameter that is evaluated is the temperature and the pattern or amount of rainfall. So from those parameters, how we can classify India's climate? Tropical in the sense of temperature and monsoonal in the sense of rainfall. Monsoon is a pattern of rainfall. That is why tropical monsoon climate. What is the meaning of term monsoon? This is something that all of you must have used it. Basically reversal of winds. Okay, that means in the summer season, wind is flowing in one direction. In the winter season, what happens? Wind start to flow in the opposite direction. Okay, so in case of India, if you say summer season, what is the general direction of wind? Southwesterly. Okay, this is how the winds are coming. That is why they causes what? Rainfall, because they are coming from the sea. In the winter, on the other hand, what happens? Wind reverses direction. It starts to flow from land to sea. So southwest, northeast. Okay, we'll discuss in details in the climate of India nonetheless. So climate of India, that is the third chapter. Fourth chapter here, after the geographical region, river system, climate, you have to study about is the soils of India, okay, or soil group of India. In some books they refer it as a soil group, so both are right. Soils or soil group of India. What is soil? Weathering of rock, that is soil. Or weathering of rock is a process. So what is a soil? Soil is something that is already developed. That means what you can say. In the soil is a thin material that is found in the uppermost layer of the earth, formed by the weathering or erosion of the rocks and supports growth of crop or cultivation of crops. Okay, so that is soil. So soils of India, basically 8 types of soils are there, which we have to study in extensive details. That we can write here. We have to study about 8 major soils we have to study. Though minor soils are there also, but mainly major soils we have to study as per syllabus. So alluvial soil. Then what do we have? Black soil. Then large part of Karnataka, which kind of soil you will find? Red soil. Red or yellow also they are called. Based on the water content, their color varies between red and yellow. So red soil or yellow soil. Then we have laterite soil. Then we have alkaline or saline soil. Then we have a desert soil, mountain soil, and peaty soil. These are the total 8 types of soils in India. Alluvial soil, black soil, red soil, laterite soil, alkaline saline, peaty, desert, and mountains. So in this, what we have to basically focus upon, again, lot of things are given in the books and all that, but largely if you look at the kind of question that is being asked, 3 kind of question is being asked. That means you have to learn what, first of all, distribution of the soil. That means which type of soil is found in which of the regions, which of the states of India. Second is the characteristics. What is the important characteristics, whether physical or chemical characteristic? What are the nutrients that you will find in the soil? What is the color of the soil, right? What is the sediment size of the soils and all? And third is the major crops. What are the major crops which can be cultivated? Major crops that can be cultivated in the soil. Understood? So, see, one thing you have to also keep in mind that the syllabus is very huge. You cannot go on, keep on reading as much as you want. Okay, you have to limit yourself, and limit should be on the basis of what? 2 things. One which is strictly given in the syllabus, and one on the basis of your own understanding, which you can get from the looking at the previous year question. Okay, rivers itself, you start reading about one river, it will take 1 day for reading about one river itself, but you not have to read so much in details. Rivers also, what they are asking, 2-3 areas are there from where question is being asked. One is the tributaries of the major river, you have to know which of the rivers are tributary of the which of the river. Second, what you have to know about is the origin places, which river originate from which mountain, which glacier, which peak, okay, which hills and all that. And third is what are the important places situated on the river. Important places can be dams, okay, important places can be national parks, important places can be temples, religious places, cultural places and all that. So that is from where questions are being framed. So that is soil. That is the 3rd chapter, river system, climate, soil. The last chapter that we'll covering in Indian geography is the natural vegetation or forests of India. Natural vegetation or forests of India. Total 5 types of forest we have. We'll discuss that later. 5 types of forest we have in India that we will study in details. These are having subtypes also, but 5 types means you can write. That is the moist tropical forest, a moist tropical forest, dry tropical forest, moist temperate forest, Himalayan temperate, and alpine. So these are the forests which we will discuss in details. Moist tropical, dry tropical, moist temperate, Himalayan temperate, and the alpine forest. Okay, what is forest or natural vegetation? Term C, geographical term. In general term, general uses, what is the term that we are using? Forest. But in geography, strictly, what is the term that we use? Natural vegetation. Not all forests are natural vegetation. That is what you have to keep in mind. Natural vegetation means obviously given in term itself. It's to develop by its own, okay, by the natural process due to the natural factors. Many areas are there where earlier there used to be different kind of trees, different kind of plants. They have been cut off, completely wiped off, and then humans themselves have grown another kind of plant, right? So that is not example of natural forest. That also looks like forest, but that is which kind of forest? That is man-made forest. That is not the subject matter of natural vegetation. Okay, like entire areas are there in the Western Himalayas. During the British time, a lot of different trees used to be there, like pine tree, cedar tree, cypress tree, and all that. So what British did, they cut entire forest area and simply started developing one single type of tree, that is sheer pine tree. So now the entire area has become covered with pine forest. But that we cannot consider as natural vegetation because there has been human factors that is involved here. The simple definition of natural vegetation is the such kind of primeval plant cover, the term that we use. Primeval means that has developed very long ago in the history of the earth without any kind of direct or indirect human interference. Okay, so that is natural vegetation. That time we'll write the definition later, not worry. So natural vegetation or forests of India, that is. So these are the 5 major topics. In natural vegetation also, if what are the kind of question that is being asked, which you have to mainly focus upon? The highest number of question that has been asked from this topic is related to the species. That means they'll give you name of 2-3 different trees. Okay, like suppose teak tree is there, sal tree is there, and what they will ask that out of these 5 or later on different divisions will have what kind of division or what kind of forest does this tree teak and sal belong to, or 3-4 trees are given and they will be asked that tropical deciduous forest or moist tropical deciduous forest, which of these three are example of moist tropical deciduous forest. So species are what you have to largely focus here, and second you can write is the distribution, again similar like soil, which kind of forest is found in which region of India. So that is the 2 major topics of natural vegetation. Species, that is a tree species, and the distribution of the forest in India. Next we have is which part of geography? We have discussed about Indian geography, physical geography. Third important is economic geography. So economic geography again, this topic is relevant from again largely mains examination perspective. Indian geography, I'm not saying that only in mains question will be asked, but most of question that is being asked from economic geography, they are asking which examination? Mains examination. Few questions are asked in the prelims also, but majority of questions are from mains. Indian geography, majority of questions are asked in which examination? Prelims examination. Physical geography, majority of questions are being asked in which examination? Mains examination. So that is how distribution is there. So economic geography, total 3 chapters we have to study here. First is the resources and their distribution across the world. Resources and their distribution across the world. Second is location factors of industries. And third is industrial regions of India and the world. So total 3 chapters we can identify. Resources and their distribution across the world, location factors of industries, and industrial regions of both India as well as world. This is simple to understand. What we have to study here, major resources that we have. Resources can be of 2 types. What are the example of resources? Mineral resources, okay, like coal, iron ore, bauxite, copper, uranium, right? Other resources can be energy resources. Energy resources like natural gas, petroleum, the coal there also it will come. Then we have non-metallic resources can be there, silver, gold, all this kind of thing, zinc, mica. So basically here, major resources that we have, where they are found, like in India also, in which region of India, what kind of resources you will find, what kind of minerals you will find. And same we have to study at the continental scale. You not have to go into detail for each country because that is not possible. India, you have to study in detail. And then what you have? Total 7 continents are there. Antarctica, anyway, resources are something that is not there. So total 6 continents are there. So on a continental scale, what are the major resources? In Africa, what are the major top 5 resources? In USA or North America, what are the major resources? South America, what are the major resources? So that is what we have to study. Now, based on the resources, what do we have? Industries. Okay, what is industry? What is the purpose of an industry? Manufacturing. Okay, that means basically what industry does. It takes up the raw material. Raw material is example of what? Resources. And then process it, convert it into some end product which can be used for our purpose. Okay, either for companies, industries, or for direct consumer. Okay, so like a steel is there. The steel is manufactured by using iron ore, coal, limestone, and all that. Once steel is manufactured, then it can be further used by the industries. Okay, steel can be used for manufacturing of machines. These machines can be used to manufacture something else, or steel can be used for manufacturing of, let us say, automobile, which can be used directly by the end consumers. So the main purpose of industry is what? Using the resources to produce some finished product that can be sold in the market. So industries, basically what we have to study is location factors of the industries. Location factors of industry means that suppose someone gave you a task that I want to open a petroleum industry or petroleum refinery, for example. Okay, or I want to open a steel industry. So you cannot go and just take the money and open it anywhere randomly you want. What you have to first do? You have to analyze what are the suitable areas. Why you have to identify the suitable areas? Because industries are mainly for profit purposes. So you'll find such area where profitability can be maximum, where the probability of industries or the factory to run for a longer duration of time will be more. So those factors that you take into account to determine where industries should be set up is referred as what? Location factor. Okay, what can be an example of such factors? Which factors you have taken into account before opening the industry? So first is raw materials. Okay, if suppose you open industry that is very, very far away from raw material, you'll spend a lot of money in transporting the raw material, which will cut the profitability. So raw material. What else? Transportation should be well developed mode of transportation. What else? Market, we can say. Okay, city means city is what? Simply it is a market for the industries. So how accessible is the market? How near is the market? What else? Labor, we can say. Okay, labor factor is there. If 2 places are there, all other factors are same. But at one place you are getting labor at cheap cost, they are willing to work at lower wages, and at one place they are willing to work at higher wages. Where industries will locate? Lower wages. That is why most of the or lot of manufacturing plant of American companies, where they are located? In China. Okay, and then now in the other Asian countries also. Most of them are located where? China. What was the main reason? Manufacturing cost was low. Why manufacturing cost was low? Because of cheap labor. Okay, so that is all the iPhones that are manufactured, which you buy, suppose in India, you will see on the this box, all of these are, or most of these are manufactured where? Made in China. Okay, so all of the electronic products, not only iPhone, any electronic products, mobile or related gadgets you look, okay, most of them probably is manufactured in China, even if the company is American or other. Okay, like Tesla Motors. Okay, that is a which company? American company. But the largest manufacturing facility is where? It is in China. Right? Reason is same, low cost of manufacturing. So these are the factors, plus availability of capital, banking institutions, financial institutions, right? You should have electricity supply because all the industries run on power. So if we have two states, other factors are same, but one state has surplus power. Okay, they will be able to supply you uninterrupted power, and one state has problem with the power supply. Where you will prefer to locate, right? So that is why if you look in the eastern states of India, the mineral reserves are much more higher. Right? Jharkhand is there, Odisha is there, Chhattisgarh is there, West Bengal is there. So in these states, the resources are much more higher than what you have in the state of Gujarat and Maharashtra. But most of industries are located where? If you compare these two regions, Gujarat, Maharashtra has much more higher number of industries than Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand. Why? Because raw material is not the only factor. Other factors are also taken into consideration. Those factors are predominant in these states. So that is the location factor for industry. We will discuss that in total 12 industries are there, 13 industries. Total 13 industries in India, their location factor, and also in the other major countries of the world we have to study. And then last we have is the industrial regions of India and the world. Industrial regions. Industrial regions are simply what? A large area where you have diverse number of hundreds of industries. So on entire city, suppose 2-3 cities are there. Entire 2-3 cities are basically what? Made up of or filled up with various different type of industries. Such regions are called as industrial regions. So it is basically defined on the basis of labor. If in any industrial area, a daily working labor force is more than 100,000, then it is referred as major industrial region. That is what we have to study. If the labor force, a daily working force, combined working force of the region is more than 100,000, industrial working force we are talking about, okay, not the other places, then it is called as the major industrial region. So 8 major industrial regions are in India, plus at the global scale, total 7 major industrial regions are there. So 15 total major industrial regions we have to study in the economic geography. Now, if you ask out of these 3, which is the most important one? That is the location factor. In mains examination, if you look at the question paper since 2013, there has been hardly any year when the question from location factor has not been asked. Every year, at least 1 or 2 questions are being asked in mains examination from the location factor. So the most important chapter is your location factor of industries here. And the last we have to study is human geography. Human geography, see, one advantage of human geography is that there is a lot of overlap. Other subject that you have studied in GS is Indian society is there, and plus in GS3 you also have to study about what? Economy. So lot of concepts, lot of things are there, topics are there that is overlapping between the subjects: human geography, Indian society, and economy. That is why many times you will not be able to find this, understand whether the question has been asked from economy, society, or human geography. But at least if it is asked in GS1, then probability is either it is human geography or society question. In GS3 it is you have to study from economic point of view. So in human geography, again, it is very short or a small syllabus. It has total three topics we have to study here. One is the human population. Human population, both in India and at the India and at the world level. Human population. The important topics here we have is population distribution, population growth, how it is happening, theories of population change, and last is we have to study the salient features of global population prospect. It is a report published by United Nations. These are the four major topics in the population geography. Population distribution, both in India and the world, how growth is happening, population or decline. Okay, because in some countries, what is happening? Population is not growing in all the countries. Some countries are facing what? Decline of the population. So both we can. Population growth as well as decline, the theories of population change, and global population prospects report. Understood? So that is the part of population. Again, human geography, we can say out of the four, that is physical geography, Indian geography, economic geography, and human geography. This is something, even if the question is being asked, is asked from not static rather than from which topic? Current affairs. That is why the important reports become very, very crucial to study. Every 2 years, global population prospect report is released. So make sure that whichever year you are giving the examination, read the relevant report, latest report. So current affair based study you have to do. Second, after population, we have to study here is the concept of migration. What is migration? Migration, how will you define it? Voluntary or involuntary movement of people generally from their place of birth or normal place of stay to some other places. So the study of migration patterns. In migration, we have to study basically migration types of migration. That means migration can be of how many types? The broader scale, it can be internal migration as well as international migration. Internal migration means happening within India. Whatever migration is happening within India, that will be referred as internal migration. And when the migration is happening from India to other countries, they are referred as international or external migration. International or external migration. That is the types. We will study in detail about that. Then internal migration, we talk about India. Basically, if I ask you, migration is happening between which areas? Either we have rural areas in India or we have the urban areas in India. So rural to urban, that is the major stream of migration, and that we can understand. But also rural to rural becomes important from women's perspective, because if you talk about India, in the rural India, migration is happening from one village to other village. That will example which kind of migration? Rural to rural migration. Now, what is the most important factor contributing to it? It is the marriage. Okay, so marriage-led migration, that is rural to rural. Rural to urban migration is mainly because of male migration, and that is mainly because of what purpose? Finding employment opportunities, economic opportunities, job, and all this kind. So two streams of migration we have. We'll discuss in detail. So that is one thing. Other we have discussed is theories of migration. Several geographers has given their own concepts and theories related to migration. Theories of migration. Then we have to study about the migration waves from India. That means when migrants moved out of India, they have moved in waves, okay, that lasted for decades in the entire history. That is what we'll talk. Migration waves. And the last topic that we have to study is the concept of human development. Very, very important. Actually, this is the most important topic from the current affairs perspective, which you have to focus. Concept of human development. And here we will focus on again a UN report published every year called as Human Development Report. As well as we have to study the latest index that is also published, Human Development Index, HDI. So Human Development Report and Human Development Index. Then, so that's about the overall syllabus. That is what we have to cover as far as the geography is concerned. We have divided into three major parts, four parts: physical geography, Indian geography, economic geography, and the human geography. And what is the subject matter within each of these disciplines? Importance wise, I already told you: physical, Indian, economic, and human. That is the correct order. Within that, what are the things that we have to study? Any question up to here? Anyone? Understood all things? Okay. So that is geography. However, when we start our preparation, one small topic is there that we have left out. That we will start actually from that. It will take hardly one class. That is what we can say is related to astronomy. Okay, because Earth is situated where? In the Earth is part of solar system. Solar system is part of what? The universe, large universe. So before studying the Earth, it is also important that we study the region which Earth is part of, which we are part of. That is the region of universe. So study of universe, study of solar system. So here also the chapter's name we can write. That will cover. So first of all, origin of solar system we have to study here. How did solar system originated? How it developed, including Earth. Origin of solar system, structure, composition of solar system, then celestial bodies we have to discuss. About sun we have to study in details. Structure, importance, and role of sun. Okay, what is the role of sun in the solar system? How it influences the solar system? So sun, we have to study about the moon. Same thing, structure, evolution, and significance of moon for Earth itself, especially. origin of solar system, structure, composition of solar system, structure, importance and role of sun, structure, evolution and significance of moon. After we are done with this, then we will move to the earth and then we'll study whatever topics we have discussed there. So this basically why we are talking about it separately, because this is not part of geography more precisely. This is part of another stream that we have, that is called as astronomy. Astronomy itself is a very big discipline, large discipline. So that is why we are separating. In astronomy also, since we talked about this, it has a sub branch that is referred as what? Cosmology. Astronomy in simple way, how we can define it, is the study of the celestial sphere that we are a part of, study of the universe that we are a part of. And in astronomy, one of the discipline that has emerged recently is the cosmology. Cosmology is when we do not study things as they are, we try to study how they came into existence. That means when we focus on the origin of universe rather than studying the universe, origin of universe become part of which branch? Cosmology. Okay, so the origin part is something that is studied here, while the current or present status, present situation is part of astronomy. The cosmology is not in our syllabus. It is very, what you can say, a specialized branch of astronomy. So we are focusing on basics here. Origin of solar system. Now this part is also relevant from which perspective? Current affairs. Okay, especially because a lot of these days activity is happening in the space, spatially related to the space missions, which are being launched by different countries, NASA, European Space Agency, ISRO also. So largely have to focus on the current affairs development, current events related to the space, what is happening. Done. So that is all the comprehensive syllabus of the geography. There is one part that is linked. It is not a subject, or we can say it is this under the geography syllabus, but strongly linked with geography. You have a topic or subject in general studies 3. Okay, that is called as disaster management. Very strongly linked with the geography, because disaster is event. That event we have to study where? In geography, and the management of the disaster we have to study separately. But can you understand disaster management without studying disaster, understanding disaster? No. Okay, so that is why the disasters concept will study in geography. And then how India manages, the government of India has put in mechanism institutions in place to manage the disaster, that will study in the internal security together. Understood? Like for example, flood. Why do floods occur? That we have to study in geography. Why do earthquake occurs? That we have studied in geography. Why do tsunamis occur? How do tropical cyclones take place? Why do landslides occur in the mountainous region? So make sure that concepts about natural disaster, okay, you pay close attention to, because not only it is relevant from one general studies paper, but also in the.
Hello and welcome everyone.